metaphysics, explorations of somatic intelligence, your natural intelligence. I'm Annie Brook from the Brook Institute, and I love sharing the tools that heal. Hey, welcome. There you are. So glad. Today, what we're going to be sharing about is what you really want. Good morning. Welcome. I like to really dive into how do we know our being and our body. And I'm so happy to share with you the tools that heal that you can take with you and explore in your relationship, profession, and bringing together that natural intelligence and your life story. Because when we dream, when we vision, when we desire, it's our desire, right? We don't want it to be somebody else's desire because our motivation then is different. So today we're going to be exploring how do you know what you most want? And then how do you have the courage to follow it and to create that? Because in a way, you're the designer of your destiny. And I don't mean that in a punitive way or a way for you to feel resentful of others or mad at yourself because your destiny doesn't look so good right now. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I am talking about is learning to feel desire and to interrupt the self-talk or the collapse that happens when you meet obstacles. So we're talking about real life embodiment, vision, dreaming. Having the courage is hard, isn't it? It's hard to get rooted in your vision. That's exactly what I want to talk about today. So welcome everyone who's coming on, and let's take a moment, and I want you to, if you're sitting, I want you to stomp your feet. I want you to give a little energy into the muscle body. Or if you're sitting on a ball, you could jiggle, get a little fluid movement. Because what we don't want is we don't want to figure out what we're dreaming from just our mental cognitive place. We want to feel connected and rooted in ourselves in order to, be able to have the stamina, because the motivation, on a funny level, this might sound weird. Hello, welcome. Say sounds weird sometimes. Desire comes from the oral rooting reflex. The ability to follow desire comes from the power of getting needs met. And that's why infant development is so important. My book, The Developing Infant, really helps parents, moms and dads, and even grandparents understand what developmental stage the baby is at and what are they doing to help their brain, and how can you get out of the way sometimes or help them. So that's a very important process, is to know infant development is actually the root of, can I get my needs met? Can I have a dream and follow it through? Is the universe going to support me? We sort of decide all this way before we can think. And then we have childhood experiences and teen experiences and young adult experiences. They're all there. And the primary part where I like to go back is to what you tell yourself around your identity, your power, where you get hijacked in power struggles or obstacles. Because truly, if you have a vision and a dream, you're going to have obstacles. And many people collapse when there's an obstacle. Or many people get diverted from their dream and focused on the obstacle. This is normal neurology, and it's often related to shock and trauma. So now, take your fingers and we stomped our feet already. Now I want you to get a little proprioception in the hands. And what I'm doing is I'm using my hands, they're actually curling me all the way down into my sit bones. I'm sitting on the floor, I'm on my sit bones, and when I press into my hands, I can feel my hamstring muscles rooting into my sit bones and a nice connection through my spine. I've had to work for years to get this. I'm so happy I can feel it now with something as simple as pressing into my hands and gathering. So let's really explore. And for those of you who want a deeper exploration around your dream, on Sunday, not this, yeah, it is, it's 2 days away, I have a free Best Year Ever workshop. And I used to, charge for this. Now it's 3 days. I've expanded it to be even more informative and enjoyable, and it will be recorded, but you do have to register for it. The link is in my bio, and it's called Best Year Ever, Soul to Self to Action. And it's the action that actually makes things happen. And so that's why what we're going to be exploring today. But do sign up, and I will be giving a book away a day. Anyone who's on the live call will be entered to win a drawing of any of my books, book of your choice. And so I'm excited to be able to share more resources. And if you share about this in your stories and tag it, you're going to be entered to win a session with me. That's really fun because I have limited time where I see individuals now. So in this, how do you dream? How do you dream with a sense of potency? How do you dream with I was trying to find the words, right? It's a felt sense that you will find your through line. And in this workshop, we're going to look at what allows that dream to bubble up and then what gets in the way, because those are parts of it. Then we're going to, on the third day, be able to also explore the action steps or what next can help. And I'll be sharing about my very focused mastermind coming up, and people who have taken that and really are thriving. They wrote their book. They're moving forward. They're not stuck in the wishful thinking. So be sure to come on live if you want to enter the free book drawing. Be sure to share in your stories and tag it. Tag your friends to possibly win a session with me. I'd love to work with you. So what are we doing today? I see that, there's someone who's saying your obstacle is a vision of undermining parents coming into your head. That is not helpful, is it? What do they say? What are the words of the undermining parents? Because I want to find out what you tell yourself. And everybody, you can think about what happens in your life. Do you get so excited that you stay in the dream world? And as soon as you meet an obstacle, you don't know what to do with it? Do you not even want to dream, like you have undermining parents right away? Some parents, I have to work with this sometimes because my partner is always looking at what will go wrong. And I used to get mad about that. Now I just laugh it off because I know he's looking to problem solve to make things safer or easier. But I think when you add that thought right at the beginning of a possibility, you're going to squash it. You can't do this because, right? There's some reason you can't do this. So often parents limit that either because they had their dreams squashed, or they learned over time the world isn't safe, or sometimes they're just anxious. And you don't want to carry somebody else's habit on top of your creativity. I was fortunate. I had a mom who went to school for early childhood development and decided to help us, learn arts and crafts and, live in a place where we could go outside and play in nature. So we had that time to stay with exploration, because part of dreaming is an exploration. It's not a solution. You have an idea what you want, but getting from here to there, oh my gosh, your parents were afraid of your power. Yeah, That could have happened in birth. It could have been because you were a little dysregulated and they didn't know how to help you, so your power was not regulated. I don't know what that was, but there's all kinds of reasons that power struggles can come up. So let's take a breath and let's take a moment where you can actually feel sensation. I'd like you to do little lymphatic circles here. Little lymphatic circles, hello, welcome, onto your face. Because what we're talking about is visioning, dreaming, how do you follow your dreams? And really, sometimes we have to get enough comfort and safety in order to dream. Yeah, and if we're already, activated or resentful or feeling hopeless, then we got to wake up our mouth. We got to get a sense of desire alive at the very primitive level. And this is, a desire for a drink of water. Just the satisfaction cycle is about feeling what you need and going toward it. Now, I think we all have some kind of creativity, or maybe some kind of soul expression or sense of path. And your path could be being a mother. There's nothing wrong with that. Or providing for your family. Your path could be, learning some geeky thing that nobody is ever going to join you in, but you love it. That's okay. Hi, welcome. And if you feel that your dreaming has gotten squashed or shut down, sometimes you can't jumpstart it from the brain. You can do creative writing. You can write with your left hand. That would be something you could do, is like write with your, whatever hand you are, use the opposite hand and write, what do I want? And then see what comes out. Because sometimes we have to get beneath our programmed view of life to even allow the possibility. Now, if you've dreamed and had it fall apart on you, maybe you gave up. Or if you had parents who dreamed and they lost something big in their life, maybe your family learned to give up. Or if there's been a trauma or so much chaos you couldn't even dream because you were in an abuse setting or an alcoholic setting and nothing was coherent. There's something about, now I'm doing movement and I hope you're joining me. I'm doing my breathing ball and I'm letting my spinal, hello, welcome. I'm letting my spinal movement and my breathing ball link up. So I've got this relaxation and this expansion. And dreaming is all about that. Hello, welcome. We're exploring today, how do you have a dream and follow it? Yeah, so you might be carrying the giving up on an ancestral level. And sometimes there's such horrible conditions, people do give up. Complex generational or cultural trauma. It's hard to keep your spirit alive sometimes. And so demanding a little more of your soul show up in this lifetime, especially if you're not living inside of that trauma right now, is very key. So you don't carry the burden of the unhealed trauma forward. You can heal your own. And, some cultures, as you heal your own, it helps the generations. But you can't live their life and fix it. And that's where ancestral guilt comes in. That's where family constellation, where you're picking up the burden out of love. Got to find your being, your compassionate, self-secure attachment so that you can listen to what your soul wants. And I'm going to be helping you with this on my free 3-day workshop. The link is in my bio. It's called Your Best Year Ever. And it will be recorded. And you'll get a free drawing for one of my books if you come on live. So I hope to see you. It starts Sunday. Yeah, the link is there. And in this, we're going to explore secure self-attachment. Yeah, that's my term I made up. All this attachment words and everything attached to others. I was like, well, you got to start here with the security so you can be an adult self in relationship with others. And an adult self in relationship with your dream. You don't want to abandon your dream. That would be too sad. And you know, it can take years. That's why in my emails I have love the questions themselves from Rilke, like an unopened book. Your dream could take years to come to fruition, but you don't give up. Or you feel like, oh, okay, it's still in the background while I'm doing, raising my kids here, so that you don't feel like you're lost or despondent in life. Because when you revert to the lack of possibility, it's like drawing in the walls of a trap and feeling like your creative force is just going to be squashed, and unfortunately, parents who don't know how to play do that. They don't know they're squashing their kids' creativity. But learning to play, and I have a free, it's not free, I have a 3-day course that is all about play. That is a self-paced course, or you can join it in the summer. But I found when I can teach parents how to play, their relationship with their children changes for the better. I also teach them how to have limits with those kiddos so they're not overwhelmed, and that's important too. So here we're talking about your dreams. Maybe your dream is to help raise your children well. That's a great dream to have. That's a great calling. So don't compare yourself with somebody else and their path, because that's a little bit like abandoning your soul. You might have somebody who's a mentor, or that you aspire to, or that helps you. But then if you look at them and you don't stay with your dream and the step-by-step, because in a way, a dream is like getting through the birth canal. There's going to be obstacles. I talked to a Tibetan monk, this lovely woman in Boulder, and she said the Buddhists call birth the crashing of mountains. That's a lot of force. It's not just this easy passage. Yeah. So I'm seeing a few questions. I love your comments, so I'm going to read them out loud here. One of them is, you've suppressed your emotions a lot. How do you get rid of that stuck feeling? Okay, I'm going to go one at a time here. So what I would do is explore the feeling of stuck. And then it may sound odd, but have you ever done laughter yoga? Or, that might be too corny from a stuck place because it's very manufactured at first. There's also a bioenergetic practice where when you're in the shower, you put your hand down your throat a little bit and you get a gag reflex going. Sometimes you're just literally frozen in the core, and getting some movement can start to help it. What you could do is you could get my book, Awakening the Creative Mind. I have lots of writing exercises, games to play that start to wake up the creative sparkle again. Because if you don't have any other reference, there won't be a sense of joy. Now, you may need to go into the stuck feeling and pick your little young self out of it, because maybe suppressing your emotions was a safety mechanism because there was no room for them. And then you'll be at conflict with yourself, because if you thought, oh, it's safe to not have emotions, then you won't want to do something that's not safe, emotional, right? Or maybe you had an emotional family and you realize I'm not going to be like them because they were so chaotic. Whatever it is, finding the regulation of the healthy emotional expression, because joy comes from there. And one thing you could do on a very simple way is you could start smiling into your organs. Let's all try this. We know the organ clock. Put your hands on your liver. Oh, and this is the nourishment cycle. And this is some Chinese medicine. They have some wonderful philosophies that are very practical. So energy needs to move through the organs, not get stagnant or stuck. So the liver, when the energy builds up there, it can get angry. Or sometimes, people will say hungry or hangry. And sometimes they just need to eat because it's a whole process of the body. But energy, if you're starting to feel too angry, move that energy. Jiggle your liver a little. Move that energy and bring it up to your heart. Because in the nourishment cycle, the liver feeds the heart. And the liver is the spring growth. It will have big energy. And then it comes to the heart, the fire. And the fire transforms. It burns wood. The wood element is liver, and the fire element is the heart. And then you could rub your heart. And if you were getting too excited in the heart, too combustible or anxious, you could send that energy down to the spleen, which is the earth. So try that. Bring your hands down to your spleen on the left side and use self-touch. Feel it so you're not just in your head trying to solve this. From the spleen, that's if it gets stuck there, it's all about worrying. But the spleen is blood storage and immune system, and it's about equanimity, grounding in the earth. And so from the spleen, you can go up to your lungs. Let's try that. Oh, the sides of your lungs, the back of your lungs, the breath of inspiration, yeah? And often the lungs will be grief-filled. So if you have stuck emotions, you may need to grieve that you let that happen or that you didn't have any guidance. But you don't want to get stuck in grief. So you get this nice emotional breath, and you move the grief on. You don't hold it. You move the energy on so it's not stagnant and turning into grief. It's energy. Move it down to your kidneys. Now the kidneys are, still anterior of the spine. They're in the front of the spine, but often we touch our back because they're outside of the peritoneum. That's because they filter waste, and if anything happened, we don't want that waste right in there in our internal organs. So here, allow the kidneys to receive support. They are about renewal. They are the winter element, the water element, the time of winter, the water element. And so you let your kidneys get renewed and they're not depleted then. And so the kidneys, guess who they feed? They feed the liver. So now you're back from this whole organ clock. And this, I've got posts on this in my Instagram account, and this organ clock is a very nice self-touch warming of the organs if you start to feel wigged out emotionally or out of bounds or outside yourself, coming back to the body. And that can help you not be stuck just by keeping the movement going. So then there's another question here. You raised your son so well, and he's strong and happy. Oh, and you're in now trying to anchor yourself. That's a big change when you have had this lifetime mission and it's working, right? Your son is doing well. Congratulations. And then you have to readjust to who are you. He's on his own feet there. He's outside of your hula hoop. And then refinding your desire. And sometimes taking just a painting class online, something simple, a writing class, because you don't even know who you are right now, but taking something creative will allow you to come back to self. Because when you work in the arts, you have to go inward and outward. You're going inward and connecting with the creative muse, but you're also bringing it into expression. So that may be a great way for you to begin that process of refinding yourself. Hello, welcome. Let's see what else is here. Can you say the book name again? You feel very conflicted. One book is Awakening the Creative Mind. That's one of my books. It's you can get them all online. I have a book bio link there as well. If it's sensory challenges you're wanting to repair, that's a nice book for helping you physically know what to do. But Awakening the Creative Mind has games and writing exercises and playful ways to start that creativity again. Hello, look, oh, I get to wave at all of you. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for coming on. Let's see, I don't see any more questions, so good, we'll keep going. Today, what we're doing is we're talking about your dreams and how desire helps organize your life. And if you want more of this, please join me on Sunday. It starts right around the corner, 2 days away. I have a link in my bio for a free 3-day seminar. It's a workshop on your best year ever. Some people put a 5 in the comment section if you are afraid of planning. Even the word planning, causes you to react. Because I can tell you, I used to never plan. But then I also never accomplished anything. I would have wishful thinking that it would happen. So I like to demystify the word planning into desire and fulfillment. Hi Mary, how do you have desire and fulfillment? And so, please join in and that exploration, because that's what we're doing today and what we're going to continue to do starting Sunday for 3 more days.